Good morning. Big fancy screens, fancy schmancy vibrating engines, and a huge quartz glass. But how does this thing vape? Rev-Tech has the 220 watt Phantom kit now, and we're going to take a look at it right today. It's Vape AM, the Phantom kit, 220 watt. Rev-Tech's got this fancy thing with a screen and everything. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a great morning. I am Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and you're tuned into Vape AM. Vape AM is my morning show. We're here twice a week, Saturdays and Wednesdays. I was sick last Wednesday, sorry. And I hope that you have a cup of tea or coffee, whatever floats your boat, and a vape, because we're going to get into this Phantom 220 kit today. Here's the real deal. There it is, and I'll tell you what I think about it. I've had this thing for quite a while. I got it the very instant that it came while I was on vacation, and so I've had 2 weeks to play with this thing. Wow, looks like I need to go on Do Not Disturb. Everyone, go on Do Not Disturb. Yay! So this is a pretty cool kit. It's got mesh coils, pretty fancy schmancy stuff, and it vibrates. It does everything but the kitchen sink. And we're going to unbox it. They sent me extra coils. Thank Rev-Tech for sending extra coils, and thanks to Rev-Tech for sending the thing for me to review too. I'm doing a giveaway, so stick around. This is the live broadcast. I'll tell you how to enter the giveaway, but right before we go on to the hangout section of the show. So I want to say happy birthday to James Rivera. Happy birthday to you, buddy. Thanks a lot for sticking with the show, and you were such a great guy and a great member of the Vape fam. And anyway, he's having a birthday today. Wish him happy birthday. And also, if I didn't share the link on Twitter, I think I did, but if I didn't, I'm going to do it today. And Brandon Taft, our friend's having some medical troubles and can always use your help and sympathy. So all of you, hearts and prayers go out to that guy because he is awesome. We hope he's well and the whole family. So look at that. The Phantom 220 kit from Rev-Tech. T. If you're just tuning in, be sure to tell me what you're vaping on and where you're at. And thank you for tuning in live. If you like these videos, click like and subscribe down here. And like I said, we're live twice a week. This is the Phantom 220 kit. It comes in a nice box. It has good presentation. They sent extra coils, which is good. And I'll tell you exactly what I think of all three of the different kinds of coils. The overall box is good. It's attractive. It's got icons on it for all the high-tech stuff that's in this thing. I'll have to use my adjust to focus to get this thing to be readable to you. 2.8-inch quartz glass screen, which they call panda glass, haha. That's fun. You know, not Gorilla Glass, but pandas. 32 megs of onboard memory for uploading fancier graphics for the home screens, which I don't have any of those yet, but they will have more. Vibrator, the leather look back cover, all-around protection, and firmware upgradable. I'm not sure what that means at all. But I think that must mean voltage protection, low voltage protection, over voltage protection, all that. The specs are thus on the mod. It says it goes up to 220. I didn't really test it mathematically in any scientific way, so I'll leave that up to the people like Phil who measure these things better. It uses 18650s, and here's where hell froze over, and I reviewed this device. This takes a whole star off right there all by itself, as it uses 18650s and not 2700s like I like. And there's a little bit of a con that's associated with that. I'll tell you guys about later too. The tank holds 5 mil, and it's a little bit deceptive. I'll show it to you. And has a triple airflow like the Aspire one, which is cool. And it uses a whole bunch of different kinds of coils, but the only ones we're really interested in are the M1, 3, and 5. Or 4, rather. 1, 3, and 4. There's a little bit more information on the back here about what's in there, and there is a lot of stuff in the kit. I'll open it up. Here's the one we're giving away. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Unfortunately, one of the things that I've done is I use this thing so much that I spaced the manual, and it does come with a complete manual. But you won't be seeing that from me, unfortunately. It will be useful, though, because if you'd like to get into the different modes, you'll be interested. Use a little silver print on there. The mod comes in here with a tank in there. And it comes with a little kit that has spare coils and charger cable. And it's a cool braided charger cable, which I typically just toss these charger cables that come with these mods, but this one I dig. I think it's pretty cool. Just open that up. A spare glass, which is so nice, and extra O-rings and fittings. So this is really nice. They included all this stuff. Everything I think that you should. You shouldn't get special credit for including everything that you should. A warranty card. Oops. And a quality control ticket, which I severely doubt, personally. They do have a battery safety card, which is cool, and you have to make sure that your batteries are the correct, good batteries. Always check mooch ratings for batteries on your mods. That's what I tell everybody, and I just repeat what he says anyway. Here's the quick start guide, so we'll at least avail ourselves of this. I read the actual manual, but I don't think there's too much in there, except it being in 6 languages. I love the extra glass, thanks. Always good. Although this one doesn't really look like it's going to break. It's shaped exactly like an Aromomizer Supreme B2, if you guys haven't already noticed that. I think it's interesting. In fact, I have my Aromomizer Supreme B2 right here. And we will loll together at how they look. It's just out of the ultrasonic. It's the reason it's wet. And we'll loll together how they look absolutely identical almost. One of the things that I think is a slight ding on here is that, to me, the paint finish on the tank is not that great. The paint finish on the mod is totally fine, but on the actual tank, I've noticed that it's already started to wear a little bit. And you can see it. Let me just get my focus up. In areas like that right there, you notice on the bottom, you can see that there's reflection. And here the red paint is worn off. And the same is true around the air hole. There's 3 air holes in each one. Those are wearing off. And this is thinning right here. So this paint job on the actual tank is not that great. But I must say, this whole thing has an amazing finish. It looks absolutely beautiful. When you get it, you'll just be wowed at how much shine there is. This grippy surface is in the actual stainless steel of the side. The first thing you notice when you get this thing out of the box is the heft of it. It's absolutely one of the heaviest mods I think I've ever had. Oh, sorry, I whacked the camera. I'm going to take this off and we're going to look at the mod for just 1 second. Let's see. It's so heavy. This is actually one of the heaviest mods I have, which is a little silly. Out of all the mods I have, this one is super heavy. In fact, I have a little slideshow that I'll show you guys here. Check it out. That's the diamond with the I'm not fast enough, with the free max. And there's that little kit we reviewed last week. There is the Dynamo kit with the NEFO at 303, and boom, 385 with batteries, 89. These are 18650 batteries too. So all of these other mods, and the King 166 with a tank on it, which is the Puxos. But there's the Diamond with the free max on it, 365, which I consider heavy but good. And this is that little single kit, which is also 365, which I consider very heavy but perfectly good. And here's the extremely lightweight for having a dual, but still pretty heavy Dynamo. It's going over them again. And then Blam, so heavy, almost 400 grams. So it is very, very heavy. But having said that, I definitely love this thing. It feels really great in the hand. You're gonna go, oh yeah. It's got the most incredibly complicated looking screen, but it actually isn't that weird. I love how it has a waterproof USB plug on the outside. And I don't know if this mod is waterproof. I don't think so. But it does have a separate menu button, and then up and down, and then a fire button. This fire button has started to stick. So they've lost a star all by itself because this fire button, I need to give you guys a heads up that mine has begun to do that. This does light up normally, but you have to have an atomizer on there. I want to take this apart again before I put any more juice in it. But there you go. You can set the color of this. You can make it sort of throb. I love this colored button. You can change the color of all these highlights. The quick way to change the color of the menu all by itself is just to double tap on the menu button. And it'll just change the color of your currently selected theme. But I'll show you guys all the themes. Orange, blue. This thing does come in like 9 colors, including orange and green and blue. 3 taps on this thing puts it into stealth mode, which is great when you're at night, vaping by the bedside. Menu up and down adjust wattages or other things that are selected here. And to get the menu up, you just hold the menu button down. And then there you go. You have the dashboard, which this lets you pick different dashboards. I'm going up and down the power. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love that one. 6. Love that one too. 7, which is the default, and 8. And then back to the one which I was using. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 9. 10, there's 10 of those in there. Oh, there were more than I thought. This is the one that I was using, which is sort of the most conservative one. I love a lot of these. These are your battery meters in green. And I need to see these stats right here almost all the time. So I pretty much go for the ones where you can read those stats easily. Yeah, there we go. That one's also good. Ah, but look at that. Love that. There's a color mode, which lets you change the color of the button, like I told you. And to the firing modes. VPC is a variable power setting mode, which we all have seen that in mods these days, and I really love that. This is the same thing for stainless steel, which you can pick all of your different stats and then set a curve for each one, which is really nice. You can put this in bypass mode, which goes into bypass near 18650s dual, which is really cool. And you can pick a power mode, which includes power stainless steel and then titanium nickel, and then that temperature control mode that you saw. You'll notice that the menus duplicate this one a little bit. And you can also turn the mod off from here. Do a factory reset, puff reset, which I have not done in quite a while. We'll see how many puffs I'm on. And it also has a pin lock feature, which lets you set a pin for your mod and then lock it, which I actually don't use this feature. But it's really nice to keep your mod from being messed with by children or whatever. And that's a cool feature. That's a safety feature. And I sort of appreciate that. It has a time setting, which is always nice. It's now 8:25 a.m. in sunny Seattle. And it also has a vibration mode, which you can turn on and off. And I have it turned on, but it simply vibrates to give you feedback. It's been doing it as we go. It has a cellular vibrator inside there, obviously. And then it has light mode, which is, this has to do with the button. So if you put it on breathing, when you pulse it, on, breathing, and you hold the menu button down to go back to the menu, it will color cycle through all the colors while you vape, which we'll do that again later here. I'll press the menu button. But you can pick from a variety of those, and that's pretty cool. You can set the brightness, which I really love. I actually have it on high right now for you guys, but most of the time I keep this on low, and it's pretty nice. This thing is very bright, I tell you. It has a display timer, which is good. I keep it on 60 seconds for the reviews, but for myself, I keep it on 20. We're back to the dashboard. I'm going to hold the menu button down. If you, like I said, if you press menu button 3 times, it goes into stealth mode, which is really cool. And if you hold it twice, it changes the color. Which is pretty groovy. Love that. Orange, purple, yellow, another purple, green. That's the red I was using. The light blue, that's cool. It has USB charging through this little guy right here. And it is textured super nicely everywhere. This is the faux leather back. And the battery cover comes off here. And you guys can see that the batteries are just dwarfed by how large this thing is. This thing has a lot of electronics. And I don't love how the battery cable, the pull out, isn't in the middle. It needs to be in the middle and a little bit longer so that we can get our batteries out easier, but that's such a nitpicky thing. This thing really needs to be a 2700 mod, and as you guys know, I'm a fan of 2700 batteries, but I'm not a big fan of 18650 batteries anymore. And this one I think would really benefit from it, especially in the battery life department. Although the battery life on this mod is still pretty darn good. Even with all these bells and whistles, I did not experience big problems at all with battery life on these things. And I do have good 2500 to 3000 mAh, 20 and 25 amp batteries going on. Every time you take the batteries out, you have to press 5 clicks to turn it on. I'm pretty sure that does not turn it off. Yeah, that does not turn it off. It does lock it though. How'd that happen? Usually locking happens. I forgot how to lock and unlock it. Oh yeah, I think you pressed this 5 times. Well, caught my pants down there. I don't know. I actually have never used that feature before and I never noticed. So I need my manual, which I cannot find. Silly me. Let's look at the tank. This guy is surprising. You know, we get a lot of super sub-ohm tanks in here and a lot of new mesh tanks, and you know, they're all pretty good. Look at this pile of these things on my desk. I have tons and tons of these things. All these mesh tanks, all of which are pretty good, and some of which share some kind of compatibility between coils. This guy is kind of cool because it is also compatible with the same TFE12 big baby coils that the Mage Pro is. And you'll notice here that my Mage Pro, this actually has a Rev-Tech coil in it. It's the quad, which I was using inside here. So these are screw compatible with these guys, and I see that I don't know if they're trying to piggyback on each other's success or if they're trying to make it a little bit more economical for you to buy coils, but I will say that it doesn't hurt that these things are compatible like this. Like, I think that's pretty good. Blanc. I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's 18650. That's really my hugest complaint about this entire setup, sadly, but I was surprised by how much I liked this thing. And besides what I think is a pretty bad paint job on here, it's a pretty good tank. I really think so. Let me just do a little once around with my focus knob. We're going to come a little closer. It's funny how it looks just like the aromomizer. And they've utilized a similar system for the juice intake on here. If we take off the bottom half and just look at this thing, this is the M3 coil. That's 70 85 watts. And it looks a little bit janky, but I've been vaping on that for probably 4 or 5 days. And it's not bad. I mean, the coil isn't even significantly darkened. It has a very simple screw-in style and a triple airflow on the bottom. There's an O-ring on the bottom of here that you have to take off when you're cleaning it. It's a little bit tough to get out, just so you know. And this is the top portion of this, and you'll see that that's what I was talking about. The juice flow comes inside here, and the coil sits inside this O-ring. So really, this could be made of glass, except for they wanted to set the chimney at a certain height on the actual coil. This has a side opening swivel and a sort of smock-like rubber gasket in here, except that it has a little bit of a flange inside there to try to keep some of the e-liquid inside, which I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. Really, the air is better, but the air will find its way out anyway. And otherwise, it's a pretty simple type of stem procedure. It has an 810 with the O-rings on the actual 510, which is not my preference. I prefer the kind with the O-rings inside, but that would raise the cost. And this is already not super cheap. This entire kit, I think, is about $100. And I'm going to take this apart for you and show you this. That is the juice intake. It's got 4 juice intakes on each side, and they just ensure that all the juice goes down by gravity into the coils. This is a good design. I got no complaints. It doesn't really need to be made of metal on the outside, but I see that they had some style concerns they wanted to hit or whatever. It looks fine. To me, it looks a little bit dated because it's tall and skinny, but I still like it a lot. And like I said, the flavor on this is great. Let's open it up and fill it up and then screw it on. I'm going to use the delicious Van Gogh Bakery banana cannoli. Oh yeah, baby. The fill system on this thing works okay. It has the same fill system that all of these top filling one does, and that is that if the air pressure isn't just right, or if your bottle isn't shaped just the right way, it can interfere. Look at how much of that juice drains down the bottom of that. So much. The capacity of this is 5 mil, and there is a 2 mil TPD version, I hear. Get that. That was so delicious. And that's that. Be sure that you always prime your coils and take your time and wait a long time. The last thing you want is one of these mesh coils going bad. I think one of the reasons why they use this metal surround on here is probably to control some of the problems that people have with these coils going dry. There are 3 kinds of coils. Just screwing that down a little tighter. There's 3 kinds of coils that they give us. And it is the M1, M3, and M4 coils. These all have very similar ranges, honestly. This is 0.18, this is 0.15, and this is 0.15 as well. And this one says it's best a little bit hotter than this one. The M3 says 70 to 85 watts. The M4 says 75 to 85, and the M1 is 60 to 70. So in my case, I vaped the M1s at 65 watts, and they were totally great. I liked them a lot. Where's our focus? I vaped the M3s at about 70, and these at 70 as well, 75. I liked the M3s and the M1s the best. These, to me, did not have the same flavor that these do, but these are both knockout flavor. Super great, absolutely great. Love the M1s and the M3s. I think they're absolutely fantastic. There's our actual baby. When you put an atomizer on there the first time, it'll ask you to confirm by pressing the power up button, and that's great. There we are. And it's going. Let's vape. Yum. This thing has great flavor. My first impression of this thing, let me just get at my official notes, because I'm going to go over the pros and cons, and then some stuff that's subjective about this stuff, and I'll tell you what I actually think. Because to me, this thing was really kind of a surprise here in the studio. I'm sorry about this. Normally, my Samsung notes is right here, but not now. My apologies. So what's weird about this thing is it took me totally by surprise, because normally if you sent me an 18650 mod of any kind, I would just blow it off because I just haven't been doing them. And another mesh tank is just not that excited. But I have a relationship with Tom, who used to work with another vendor. So anyway, they sent me this stuff anyway, and I am very pleasantly surprised. I really like this kit. One, I got really good battery life out of all this stuff. I mean, I'll just talk about the pros first. I got really good battery life out of all this stuff. And that was with my poopers and with my home life batteries. So I vaped it between 65 to 85 watts all the time. I went up to about 100, 120 with RDAs every once in a while. If you'll notice, I have, oh, my goon isn't here. It's in the other room. I had that on there. I was vaping my goon on it last night and last week as well. And it was great. The new goon as well. And the Cali and the Twisted Messes. Can't recall exactly what other RDAs. The new iJoy RDA, the Katana, which I'll show you guys soon. I ran a bunch of those on there, and I liked it. It was fine. The thing is that it's large enough to fit almost any kind of thing that you put on top of there. So RDA lovers will be pretty happy, and also you'll save a little weight because RDAs just don't weigh as much as tanks in general. But the tank is not the major contributor to the weight here. It's the device itself. The The box has a million features. It has all the fire modes, including bypass and turning off the LED and lowering the brightness and everything that you want if you're concerned about battery life being bad underneath the regime of having the huge display. But the thing does get good battery life. I feel like it's important for me to say that, because the first impression I think that you'd get from something with a big screen like this is that it would just suck all the batteries out, but it really wasn't bad. I thought that the build quality on everything here was very good, except the paint, which I'll talk about in just 1 second, on the tank. The build quality on the mod itself is absolutely fantastic. There's just nothing even, it's withstood some floor drops, and the carpet is the reason why you don't see any marks on it, but it has withstood some drops. I haven't dropped it on pavement or anything hard or scratchy, but I haven't been particularly careful. I haven't been putting it in the same pocket with my keys, obviously, but I had been carrying it around and just throwing it in my back pocket and then tossing it on the car seat. And I threw it in my bag at one point with a few bottles of juice. So I haven't been dollying the thing or babying it, and it's turned out pretty well. So the glass is pretty darn good so far. And as far as just overall quality, I'm very happy. Color choices are amazing. It comes in like a billion colors. There's a link in the description for you guys who want to check this thing out. But it comes in 7 or 8 or 9 colors, and they're all pretty cool and eye-popping. This one's called Black and Red, and it is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Some of the negatives that I've got about this are that it is a little bit, I don't really like the paint job on the tank. The paint job on the mod is absolutely great, but on the tank, the paint is thinning, and I can tell that even with the use I've put it through, that it's going to end up wearing off even more quickly. So that's not a huge thing, but it's slightly a bummer. And I also think it just doesn't look that great. Just immediately looking at it, I saw too many silver highlights in it, and I think that might have been on purpose, but it's wearing off in a weird way. Paint on the mod has been fine. No wearing, not a huge deal. Another problem that I've had is that this button's sticking. So as of a few days ago, I can't remember the exact first time that I encountered this, but it's happened 4 or 5 times since, including right before the show here. This button has just been sticking. I'll just vape on this. Bring some tea. Well, I can't force it to do it, but it has been doing it, so that alarms me. I think you guys need to look into whatever little retainer thing you have inside here or whatever, and make sure that that's safe. It has felt fine. It hasn't been a problem accidental. It hasn't accidentally gone off in my pocket, but it has happened while I've been touching it, so that's not a great thing. The next con that I have on this thing is that it is just way too heavy. They put, I guess, the enhanced glass and all the features and electronics and everything are what's doing this, but it is really, really heavy. For this kind of weight, it really should have 2,700 batteries. And for my pièce de résistance, the final thing is that the biggest con is that this has 18650s instead of 2700s. If this had 2700 batteries, I would be kind of stoked about this. But it only has 50s. But having said that, the coils are good. I like the M1 and the M3, but they taste great. We're going to do a showdown of all of them. And overall, I like this kit. It's a little bit on the spendy side. This is leading me to the subjective parts of these things. It's a little bit expensive. It's about $100. I'm sorry, $85 if you use the Juicy Jones HQ code at Heaven Gifts. If you click on the link in the description, and then if you check out using my code, it'll only be $85. So that's not too bad. Especially for what you're getting a great tank that works with the TFV8 Baby Prince coils and with these amazing coils that come with the Coil Art Mesh Pro, and also the coils that come from Rev-Tech are pretty good. So you're winning there for $85. That's why I put it in subjective. I'm trying to get this to misfire again. And what else do I have? And the looks. I mean, I think that some people will think that this is a little bit gaudy and a little bit over the top and silly. So I put that in a subjective category. Some people will hate the way this looks. Some people will like it. I sort of started by thinking it was maybe a little bit too much. And then by the time I carried it around for a few days, I just sold. I'm sold. Sold on this. It's really, this mod is very reliable. I'm only starting to get alarmed now about these fire buttons. So Rev-Tech, check out the fire button. And I love all of you. I hope you are happy watching the show. We have to do a giveaway for these things. I'm giving away a black one, which is super cool, and it's sitting right over here. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, drop something. and I want to give it to you, so it'd be great. All you have to do is in the comments for this video after it's posted, not during the live. After it's posted, leave me a comment in the description just telling me what your current vape is and where you live and what you're vaping on. I mean juice. So tell me about your setup and tell me a little story, anything. But leave a comment and in a hashtag say hashtag Rev-Tech rocks. Got that? Rev-Tech rocks. So leave me a comment, any comment at all, hashtag Rev-Tech rocks. So I love all of you. We're going to have a live hangout here, but for the review section, we're finished. So if you just wanted to check out this mod and see if it was worth a poop, then yeah, I think it's worth a poop. It's cool. And if you want to win one, leave a comment and say Rev-Tech rocks hashtag in there. Don't forget that. And otherwise, we will see you on Wednesday. I love all you. Stay tuned if you're here live, because we're going to have a live hangout and stay here for a few minutes and talk about this and just have a little coffee clutch with our stuff. So I love all you. We're going to vape out. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. Rev-Tech, check out that button. Thank you. Hello, I'm back. Hello, 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 all of you. So Ron Yoon and all of you commenting in there right now, don't comment right now. Come back after Google posts this video onto the channel and then make a comment on the replay, because that's how it'll work. We aren't posted live yet. So I hope all of you are having a great one. How was your morning? What do you guys think about the Rev-Tech mod? Here it is. I actually like this thing. Hey Ron Yoon, hey Brandon Taft, hey Josh Rhodes, hey Daniel Hale, hey Michaela, hey Ed. I'm just catching up on the conversation a little bit. Dr. Dolphy, how are you, buddy? Great to see you. Maybe I should move that focus back. Boom. I have a lot of these super sub-ohm tanks now, mesh ones. They finally came out with some coils for the NEFO, and I'm so excited. So I finally have fresh coils in this thing. And we got freshies in all these too, and this one. And I have to get only one more. I have to get a Freemax Mesh Pro. Freemax Mesh Tank. I forgot the name of it, but Gary's going to remind me here in 2 seconds. Shane Smith says he likes the faded color in this thing, and yeah, you know what? So do I too. And all the colors are eye-popping as heck. Here I am looking at the actual colors, and the one they call lemon is green. It's really cool. It's like this thing on green. It looks killer in black. I saw a bunch of Instagram pictures of this thing in black, and it looks really cool. My red one I think looks pretty cool. I never think that anything I ever do is any good, so I think other people think that my mod's cool. I think it's cool. I hope other people think so. Just hope so. Let's see. Shane Smith, Mesh Pro triple coils are his favorite mesh coils so far. Those are great. Absolutely great coils. Is that mesh as good as the Mesh Pro from Freemax? That is a good question. I have to do a roundup of these things. You know, honestly, it's close. They're close. And I don't love the way this tank looks, but I was real surprised at how great the flavor is. And I kept on picking it up, kept on vaping on it. So that's good. Part of it is that the airflow is the triple airflow. And they kept it good for restricted airflow for people like me. I think that some people who want more air, bigger air, aren't going to be as excited about this tank. But honestly, I don't think we need that much airflow. The Rev-Tech Falcon, that's right. I told you Gary would remind me what the last one was. So we'll get the last one, and then we'll do a big roundup of all those. I vaped on the Rev-Tech one quite a bit, actually, but it was when I was with other people who had them, and then I had to give it back. I traded my Aspire for one. We vaped for a few days, and then I got the Falcon back, or I gave the Falcon back, and it was pretty good. I had no complaints. I had a new coil in it too, which was pretty cool. And Brandon is talking about maybe some of the things that are happening underneath the button that might make it stick. And I'm sure he's right. He's talking about a rubber O-ring. It actually probably isn't an O-ring. I'm thinking it's probably a grommet or it might even be a mat underneath. And if you guys remember, this had a problem originally where the button could do this. I need to move the focus up because it's way too blurry. This one had a problem that was similar to where there was a rubber resistor on top of here that gives you a little push feeling, and it had slipped up over its limiter. It had like a bumper that it was stuck on, and this button would get stuck in the on position. So, but this was actually a sort of like rectangular piece that went from here to here on this thing. On here, I bet it's the same though. I mean, one of the things that I really don't love about this is that the second you press the button, it starts firing. This thing has 0 ramp up time. It starts going the instant you press it, even though it's kind of a soft button. So the button isn't exactly forgiving. I guess I should have said something about that exactly during the review. I meant to mention that the button is a little bit monkey. I'd like some pumpkin spice vape for Halloween. That'd be fun. Or maybe just pumpkin and cream. Maybe pumpkin ice cream. Wouldn't that be good? Maybe nutmeg. And Shane Smith says he prefers his Mesh Pro Triple. Yeah. These are all very close in my opinion. There's a bunch of these. Oh, and I forgot to mention one. Look what we're going to do here pretty soon. Look what I just got. Have you guys seen this thing? The shiniest mod ever from iJoy. This is the iJoy Katana. And it comes with an RDA, a new Katana tank, and with is basically like a diamond tank, but it's redesigned with new coils. And single 2700 inside here. Pretty cool. Oh my God, JT Munn, good luck to you. I want to see pictures of that puppy. Pictures of that puppy. He says you may be adopting a dog today. That's so great. Pictures of puppy. Michaela, I think you and I both like e-liquids that have calories in them. I like the e-liquids that taste like pastries and cookies and butter and stuff like that. That's just my thing. I think she's probably pretty similar. Just my personal. I'm just drinking some delicious tea. I'm vaping on this iJoy Katana, which is such a cool mod. And this has what I call Soylent Blue, but it's my Blueberry Letiza. Yum. For my friends over at Good Juice Vape. The rest of these are all Van Gogh vapes, and I'm vaping on. Yum. In fact, I think it's pretty much all the end of my banana cannoli. That is so yummy. I totally get the sweetness of the banana. Oh, it's a little bit chocolatey. Brendan Taft is asking if we tried cold brew coffee. Yeah, sure. Many times. You bet. That's a thing here in Seattle. It's getting vapey in here. Need to get an air purifier for my scene. One thing I really appreciate about the Phantom is that they include a quick reference kit and a little quick card. That's like a quick card. Can't believe I neglected to show that. Really great. I love that they did that. I'm kind of a fan of this thing. I think it's good. Let's see what YouTube says. Okay, it says we're 37 minutes in. Today, I have to go play Red Dead Redemption 2. So, Red Dead Redemption 2 launched yesterday. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to end the broadcast here in just 1 second. And we are going to go over to my brother's house and hang out and play on his Xbox 360. So, I love all of y'all. I hope you're having a great day. Make sure that you come back after the replay and leave a comment. Just any comment. Tell me where you're at, what you're vaping on, what your setup is, about vaping, your quitting story, anything you want, and put a hashtag on there that Rev-Tech rocks. Hashtag Rev-Tech rocks along with your comment. And thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. I really appreciate that. All of you are the greatest. I'm going to take this Rev-Tech mod right here and vape out with you guys. It's the best. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, Josh.